Well, investigators in Monterey Park, California are trying to piece together the motive behind a weekend mass shooting that left 10 people dead. For the latest on the latest mass shooting south of the border, we go live to CTV's Tom Walters. Tom, good afternoon to you. You're in front of the scene of that horrible massacre there. What is happening there today as this investigation unfolds? Because we know who did it. We know the victims, but what do we still not know about what happened Saturday night?
Well, and I think you touched on it, Nick. The critical question is motive. It's not clear to anyone why this individual might have come into this dance studio, the Star Dance Studio in Monterey Park, with a gun, opened fire, taken 10 lives, sent 10 other people to hospital. We have heard from the suspect's ex-wife, who says that she met him here at the Star Dance Studio about 20 years ago, that they danced together. She said he was not violent, but she described someone with a quick temper. That, of course, falls far short of explaining why somebody would carry out a mass shooting. Police say they're investigating, of course, to try to answer that question, but they say their investigation could take months.
You can imagine it would, because it's also complicated by the fact that there was a second attempted shooting where it turns out the patrons of that dance hall managed to sort of overpower the suspect here. What do we know about the connection between the one dance studio and the other, if any, Tom?
Yeah, well, that's the question, whether there really is much of a connection. We know that in terms of the community, the people who danced here, that there was some overlap, that the people who danced in one place may have danced in the other as well, that these were sort of part of one kind of community, if you will, community of interest. But you know, you're right. It's going to be a very difficult job for police to try to unravel some sort of motive here, particularly since the suspect is dead, of course. But the incident at the second location, the Lili Dance Studio in Alhambra, police are giving a great deal of credit to the people there who disarmed the gunman when he came in. They saw a man enter with a gun. They considered that obviously threatening. They had no idea about what had happened here at the Star Dance Studio. They had no idea about the shooting that had taken place just minutes earlier, but they disarmed the gunman and essentially ordered him out, at which point he fled in a white van, and police then searched for that van, found it yesterday in the community of Torrance, surrounded it as police pulled that vehicle over. And when they stopped it, they heard a single gunshot from inside the vehicle. And there was a period of time of standoff, and when they approached the vehicle, they found the suspect dead inside of an apparently self-inflicted wound.
Jeez. And Tom, what do we know about the victims? We know the number, 10 dead. We know about 10 more were in hospital, but do we know any of the people who've died, you know, who they were, how old they were, that sort of thing?
Well, we understand that one of the victims was an instructor here at the Star Dance Studio, and those stories are beginning to emerge now of the people who were shot and killed. As for the people who were injured, the 10 who were rushed to hospital, we understand at least 3 of them have now been released. But as you know, the conditions in which they arrived at hospital ranged from stable to critical. So we know that there's going to be a long road to recovery for some of them.
What are you seeing police activity-wise behind you at that location today? And what, if anything, are police saying about updates? Because I realize they can't say too much because they're trying to work on the motive right now, which, of course, is the key question you addressed, Tom. But what's happening at the scene today?
Well, at the scene, not much. There's really no sign of police here. They, of course, had this whole area cordoned off yesterday. I mean, there is a some police presence, but there's not much sign of forensic work going on in the dance studio. It appears that they did most of what they needed to do on the scene yesterday. And you're right, the investigation sort of now is a bit broader. The suspect lived in the community of Hemet, which is some distance from here, and police have executed a search warrant there in order to try and get more information about the suspect. And all of that really speaks to the search that continues now to try to find some motive for this shooting.
And Tom, frequently in the aftermath of these mass shootings in the United States, we hear the term, thoughts and prayers coming from politicians, etc. What is Governor Newsom saying? What has President Biden said about the situation, and if this is going to lead to anything consequential, or if we just wait for the next one?
Well, I think both have, expressed the concern that both are inclined to express in these moments. But you're right. There's, we have seen from so many previous incidents that any change in U.S. gun laws is an extremely difficult political challenge. And you would think, if the murders of children at Sandy Hook Elementary School, the murders of children in Uvalde, Texas, didn't move the needle on the gun control story, not much is going to. So I think there is almost a kind of sense of resignation here that this is a problem that keeps going.
Yeah, it seems that way. CTV's Los Angeles Bureau Chief Tom Walters live in California for us this afternoon. Tom, thanks for the update. Appreciate this.